How much does it really cost to invest? Welcome to the Donegans YouTube channel, and this is a guide to using the fees tool that Katie created.
Yeah, the purpose of the tool is to compare two different investments to see the impact of the fees of those investments over the long term. So we've got a term of 30 years that we look at in the tool.
Exactly. The biggest predictor of your success as an investor is the fees. So let's go. Here's the page. It's alandonegan.com/fees. You can find our fees tool. This is the tool that Katie has created, and it's all about the impact of fees on your investments. So actually the first step, people have to know what their fees are.
Yeah, exactly. So where would you find those? Well, your provider or whoever you're invested with or your financial advisor.
Yeah, and your statement, your website.
If in doubt, go and ask them. You should be getting documents when you sign up or periodically as you go. So you find that on those, and then this is to show the impact of those fees over time.
So let's give you an actual example. We're going to take St James's Place. This is a document that shows, this is one that actually St James's Place used to persuade people to go with them.
Yeah, I've just moved our faces from the top corner because it says how our charges compare at the top, just to show you that. And then they're kind of proud, aren't they, that look down here, St James's Place, only 2.3%,
all the way up to 3.5%, which if we use those providers as a demo, you'd be bankrupt.
Oh, we should find some other stuff.
So that's St James's Place, but you can go on to whoever it is you've got, Aviva, LG, doesn't matter who it is, go on their site, find their costs, and then you come back to the tool and you take what you have found and then you put it in here. So the yellow box is an investment that we constantly look at, which is the Vanguard FTSE Global All Cap, and that's kind of pre-filled out to give you a benchmark, a thing to compare against.
Yeah, and this is extremely low fees, and we want to compare a fund that you might have with something that is potentially a lot cheaper, but let's find out and let's see. So
let's fill this out from the start. So let's imagine we've got 100 grand in our SIP, which is not inconceivable.
Yeah, it sounds a lot, but if you've been working for a while and you've had lots of contributions towards it, then it is highly possible that you have as much as £100,000 in there, or whatever. We've done this in pounds because we're in the UK. Whatever currency you're operating in, it will work exactly the same. Just pretend that pound sign is not there.
Yes. So if you're American, just put the numbers in and just pretend it's a dollar. Okay, monthly investment, we're going to invest £500 a month just to see the difference.
So we'll put SJP here as the fund name, so you just type that in. And then we've gone away and looked at SJP's St James's Place fees and found out exactly what they are. So these come directly from their website and from people that have shared with us their documents to know what the
we get many people coming to Rebel Finance School telling us about this and asking us for our opinion on their fees. So we know the initial fee for the initial investment, they do 4.5% for their advice, don't they?
4.5% for their advice, and then 1.5% for their product advice.
Whoa! So they charge 6% of your initial money. So if you're investing 100 grand, they will take 6 grand off you for their advice immediately.
So all we've done there is add the 4.5 and the 1.5 and said, okay, that's 6% overall.
And you can see on the right hand side in the yellow box, the initial fee for Vanguard is 0 if you choose your own funds. Okay. Initial fee for monthly investments?
Actually,
do they charge you for that?
They do not, very kindly, 0.
Okay, cool.
What I want to point out here as well, that sometimes there might be they call it a dealing fee, and that's what would go in here. So you can actually change this to a pound amount if it's done like that. So for example, we invested with Halifax. Each time we put money in,
they charge us like £9.50, don't they?
Well, they're actually, for a regular contribution, it's a little bit lower than that. But this would come in here in this box, and that's why you can change it as to whether it's a monetary amount or a percentage amount. Given that this is 0, it doesn't matter what I have here, so we'll just leave it as percentage.
So let's taking on to the ongoing charge fee, which actually you might see this termed in different ways. It might be the AMC, the annual management charge. It might be the expense ratio.
Yeah, if you're in the States, they call it the expense ratio. It just means how much it costs for the funds themselves that you have, as opposed to the platform fee, which we'll come on to next. So this is the annual charge for having the funds that you're invested with. And for a balanced portfolio that St James's Place offer, they have a 1.5% for the annual management charge, plus another 0.5% for charges for maintaining and managing the fund. So we have
You'd think they would be included together, wouldn't you? But they like to separate it out to make it look lower. So the total is 2%, isn't it?
2% there. And then
is there a platform fee with St James's Place?
There is. They charge 0.5% a year of the value of your account for ongoing advice, they call it. So,
and if you had a different provider, you might have a platform such as Interactive Investor and then a fund underneath. So you can put the platform fee and the fund in to be able to understand the total fees for your investment.
And again, you'll see here that we've got a percentage or a pound amount here, because some platform fees are expressed as a monetary amount.
Such as our Halifax one, they charge you £30 a year or something like that.
Yeah, so you can change that here. So we're going to leave it on percentage because it's based on how much you have invested. And you'll see over here on the right hand side, we've the tool is
pre-filled in,
pre-populated with the FTSE Global All Cap from Vanguard, and we're assuming that the platform is also Vanguard. So the platform is Vanguard and the fund itself is Vanguard. So
which in the UK they charge 0.23% for the fund, and they charge 0.15%, which you can see is dramatically cheaper than St James's Place. But St James's Place, well, it's just 1% and we'll get a better performance. That's the lie of a promise that they tell you. Okay.
And then we've got this option here is the annual platform fee capped, and the reason that's included there is because
it is capped with Vanguard.
With Vanguard, it is capped, so it says 0.15% of whatever you have invested, but that's capped at the £375. So they'll never charge you more than that amount for having the
ISA, SIP, general account, actually all of your accounts, which is amazing.
So that's why we've got this option here, and you can say, is it capped, yes or no? So yes, it is on the Vanguard side.
Is the fee capped with St James's Place?
No, I do not believe it is, Alan. Funnily enough, I think you knew the answer to that as you asked, didn't you? And then finally we got exit fee. So one thing that St James's Place do with their pension products is if you leave in the first 6 years of having the investment with them, they will charge you a high exit fee. So if you leave in the first year, it's 6%. If you leave in the second year, 5%, and so on over the years. So going down to 1% in year 6 and nothing from year 7 onwards.
Which you have to be very careful with this. Providers like to sneak in these terms when you're not looking.
Yes.
And lots of people don't review this and then are horrified when they find out. So we're just going to put a 2% exit fee as some kind of average.
This is one occasion where you do want to read the small print of what you're signing up to, so that you will start to see what the fees are and understand what you're getting involved in. So we
put these fees in,
everything in, and then if we scroll down a little bit, it says results.
It will auto create the results. So Katie's fabulous spreadsheet in the background is calculating the results, and then we'll scroll down and we'll review the results, which we have a chart and some graphs. Yes, let's have a drum roll.
So it says, I'm going to just reveal all of it. So
first line, after 30 years, St James's Place is £850,000. Your 100 grand initial investment and your continual investment is worth 850 grand.
Sounds pretty good.
Sounds good. And the Vanguard FTSE Global All Cap is worth 1.5 million.
That's quite a bit higher, isn't it? How much higher is that? It's £676,000 more that you would have in the FTSE Global All Cap. And for the purposes of this, we've assumed that the performance of whatever you're invested in is the same over the whole years, just so we can see the impact of the fees.
Fees alone.
So actually, actively managed funds tend to underperform as well. So we're being quite generous to
We're being very generous to these high fee people. Actually, it would be a lot worse than this. But at the generous number, they have cost you £676,566. So the question is, would you like to have that money, or would you like to hand over 600 grand to your financial advisors for diddly squat?
Crazy, isn't it? So you can see here the graph, just to show you. So this blue line is what would happen if there were no fees whatsoever. And unfortunately, in the UK at least, and I'm sure it's similar around the world, that's not possible. There is always some fees involved in investing. Your job is to minimise those fees.
But it gives you an idea of what it would be if it's zero fees.
Yeah, exactly. It gives you an idea. So then this yellow line below it is the Vanguard FTSE Global All Cap, which you can see from this legend here. The yellow line is that one. You can see they're pretty close.
They chart quite nicely. You'll see the difference gets bigger as you get towards the end because that's how compounding works.
And then this orange line underneath is a bit of a sad, sorry thing of SJP underneath.
Very
which is
sad.
Basically a little bit. It's not quite as bad as half what you had with Vanguard, but
it's pretty much half. So let's actually have a look, because you created something fabulous below, which is like, what's this actually made up of? So St James's Place is 676,000 worse off, but like, what makes up that money? How did that happen?
So first of all, this is actually a high amount here. You can see as I hover over, it says the higher initial fee for initial investment. So this is the £6,000. The 6% of that initial investment comes to £6,000.
But it's actually not. It's nothing compared
Well,
with the other fees over time.
Of the 676,000, it's like,
Well, it's
okay,
1%,
6,000 is not that much, is it? Then we've got the fact that they have a higher annual management charge or ongoing charge for the fund, which is about £177,000 impact.
Just for the fund fees, the platform fees cost you 43 grand. Then you've got the exit fee, which is a small amount, but it's still painful, like 18 grand.
And then let's look at this massive grey bar that we've got at the end. So this says that the investment growth missed out on. What do we mean by that? Well, the fact that the fees are eating away at what you have invested means that it cannot compound at the same rate. So that's what you're missing out on by having those fees so high over the years. You have less invested, so it can grow less over time.
So, as you can see, fees silently kill your financial future, and you want to minimise them. They're actually one of the best predictors of success financially out there. So this is a tool to allow you to compare what you've already got. And if you've got a friend, a family member, a partner you're trying to talk to about investments, this is a useful tool to create discussion around what if we stayed with Aviva, what if we stayed with Wealthify, what if we stayed with whoever it is, or switched to a Vanguard or other low-cost tracker. There are many ones out there. We're just big fans of Vanguard due to the fact they don't shaft you.
We are not sponsored by Vanguard. We just talk about them because we believe in their products and what they do, and that's how we invest as well. And if you keep scrolling down, oh, you can scroll up.
I was going to go up.
I was just going to say there's more information if you want to read more about this, and detailed instructions, written instructions as well as to how to use the tool.
And then I was actually quite proud of the bit that says the difference.
Yeah.
And it really does analyse all the different elements and shows you some statistical studies to talk about the actual proof. And can you judge a fee but loan and all of the assumptions we based it on.
You might be wondering, how did you figure this out? It's based on past data. If you're interested to know the details, please have a full read of what we have there. But you can use the tool and get going straight away from having the instructions from this video. So have a play and let us know how you get on. We'd love to hear.
Yes, please. And if you don't know what any of this means, come to Rebel Finance School and we will help you get on top of it.